All right, let's keep things going. I asked Parlay Kid what he wanted for Christmas, and it was a big ask. I got to be honest. He had a very big ask, and it wasn't like a t-shirt or a hat or even a free bet. He asked for a guest, and this guest was very kind. He made it happen. He's a friend from back in the day, and he's gone on to do such even better, one of the top podcasts there is out there. So let's roll out the red carpet for him. He's a co-host of the Throwbacks Pod with Matt Leinart. I honestly think he made the Yankees hat more famous than a Yankee can before Jay-Z. Jerry Ferrara, what's going on, pal?
You know what? You mentioned that that's all you wanted for Christmas. Usually I'm the lump of coal that you get. Like, you keep acting that way, I'm going to get you Jerry Ferrara for Christmas. That's usually how it goes.
No, Parlay Kid. This is, I guess if he couldn't go to a Knicks game with you and sit courtside, next best thing.
Listen,
next best thing.
I, like probably both of you, I am a part of lots of group texts, and I'm old enough now, 46 years old, where I'm like, I can't be in all the, I mute 90% of them. Our Knicks group chat now for what, 3-4 years going?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Like the main one I respond. There's only 3 of us in there. It's not overwhelming.
Yes,
it's smart.
Exactly.
It's realistic. It's down to earth, and it's the only one I really pay attention to.
True fans on it. 3 true fans of the Knicks who kind of understand the game, right, and know what's going on in Knicks Nation. So it's a great one to be on for sure.
And that's amazing because I imagine you have a lot of really good group text. I would think.
I do. I mean, one Knicks chat, I actually left the chat because I just couldn't handle it anymore during the playoffs. But it's like 80 people in it, and it's got some names. You'd be like, oh shit, this person's in. But I can't handle the constant, especially during the playoffs, the constant updates of every minute little detail. My blood pressure was getting too high.
Yes, we don't do that. Dipped. Ours are like kind of like game is over.
Little post-game coverage.
Like little post-game coverage. Yeah, not like we're too invested in the game. I don't need to be texting about every little and minutia detail.
We're
that's
also realistic.
Right.
Like in this chat with just the 3 of us, no one after an amazing win gets too high. Usually we're like, wow, that was a great win. Oh man, what's going to happen tomorrow? Like, we're so skeptical and damaged and broken.
That is the true Knicks fan.
Yeah,
exactly.
Knicks fan. Yeah. So true.
Hey, I'll let Parlay Kid get into Knicks stuff quickly, but I know, let's see, you're now in Ohio, and have you any of these teams even kind of feel like the hometown team, or what is it like being a Knicks fan now in kind of enemy territory now? Go figure.
So, you know, I always tell people when they're like, why did you go to Ohio? I use the Goodwill Hunting line. I'm like, I went to see about a girl. Like, my wife grew up here. So she wanted to be back closer to her family. And we've been here now for quite a few years. And I've been coming here long before moving here. I've been with her now 15 years at this point. And the thing that made the transition so easy is the Cleveland fan base is a legit fan base. Very similar to New York. And like the Cavs, I call them my team-in-law. Like, I want them to win. I'm happy for my in-laws when the Browns or the Cavs win. But when it comes time, like Yankees, Guardians playoff game, I was at all those games in enemy territory. Knicks, Cavs 2 years ago, playoffs, I'm there. And then obviously the Giants and the Browns have zero anything. So who cares? But I will say, I don't feel like it's enemy territory, but I do think the Knicks and the Cavs are staring at each other a little bit on this one.
Yeah. 2 teams kind of built the same way, and can go head to head. Hey, we'll talk about players that might that are rumored to the Knicks, but let's talk about this Knicks roster first. 16-7, kind of only behind Detroit, which is the big shocker in the East. So, all right, give us. I'll let Parlay Kid go first, but you give me your state of the Knicks as we head into Christmas time, when really like you've now seen the team and felt it out, what it's been like almost the first half of the season.
Yeah, I was just having this conversation with my 17-year-old nephew who doesn't know pain yet. So it's hard talking to anyone under the age of 30 about the Knicks because it's been okay. But my state of the union is, look, I was very concerned after the Tibbs firing. And I was gut wrenched about the way we lost to the Pacers, but they did that to everyone. And then Mike Brown comes in, and I like Mike Brown, Cleveland coach, I like Mike Brown. And I like the idea of a great offense in an offensive league, but I do feel like some grit was lost that we haven't yet really shown in the early parts. Like when the Knicks are hitting threes and that offense is rolling and they're in the Mike Brown system, they, especially in the East, they are, in my opinion, the favorites. They will beat just about anybody. But what I need to see from the Knicks, and Darren, I wonder if you're the same, like, I need to see the gritty wins when you're not shooting 48%, 50% from three, and when you don't have your A game stuff and you're on the road in Orlando, in Detroit, in, even like a Chicago who's giving us a hard time. I need to see that gritty win when you didn't have your best stuff, preferably on the road. Because I think at home, they are going to be the best home team.
You hit the nail
league.
on the head. Yeah. 13-1 at home. Garden is rocking. No, I mean, I think that's perfect analysis, Parlay Kid.
Yeah, I'm right on board with what Jerry's saying. I like two things that the Knicks have done so far this year. They've taken care of business at home. The Garden should be a place where they very rarely lose, right? I've seen too many losses over the last few years to even some nondescript teams that you wouldn't think you'd lose to, surprisingly come in, because I think when teams come into the Garden, they're very excited to come into the Garden. So even the teams that aren't very good always play their best ball at the Garden. So I'm so glad to see the Knicks taking care of business in the Garden. And I'm glad to see the Knicks taking care of business against the, let's face it, subpar teams of the league. They're getting wins. Maybe they're not so convincing all the time, but they're beating those teams. They're beating the teams they should. But like Jerry's saying, we need to see them show a little bit more grit in the games where the shots aren't falling, right? Jerry's spot on with that analysis. It's true. We really haven't had maybe that signature gritty win yet. We saw, we go into Boston, right, Jerry, last week, and
good first quarter, and then fell apart. Yeah,
right. But when you rely on the three ball a lot, like the Knicks are doing now more than ever, that three ball's, we've seen the teams. That's what happens in the league now, right? It can fall apart at any moment. But I'd take 16-7, Jerry. I think we would both have signed up for that at this point of the year.
Absolutely.
And I think we both have our expectations. Look, my expectation this year is this is the year they have to go to the finals.
I agree.
Right? Like, no excuses. Unless they suffer some terrible injury to one of their, star players, this is a year where they have to make the finals. I'm not saying they got to beat OKC or the Western team, but coming out of the East, this has to be the year to get it done. And I think so far, Jared, what I'm seeing is a Knicks team that is doing what they have to do, but I still think they have their eyes on the prize for later in the year. I'm not sure if they really have been fully invested the way maybe a Tom Thibodeau team would have been at this point. And I love Tibbs. I thought he was a great coach, but I do think they're saving a little bit for the playoffs here.
Yeah, and to me, it's like, whole new offense, like we said. And I still always love Tibbs. I think he changed everything about the culture of the team.
Sure did. Correct.
And winning and what that's like. So I'm not saying this as a negative, but it never looked like his offenses were overly, it was just a lot of ISO ball. And it works. We have good ISO players. But to me, it looks like, look, we got to figure out this offense and everyone's fit. Because like we mentioned the gritty wins, this is the same exact team. Yep. Except with a little bit bolstered of a bench, right? Yeah. Clarkson and Yabusele. And so the grit is there. It's not like I'm saying I need to see because I don't believe they have it. They had it all year last year. Now it's just like, it's almost like you're right, Darren. Like, when are they going to flash? When are they going to pull it out? They just drop it on the tape.
It could be Christmas. It could be Christmas against the Cavs. I think when they talk about this Knicks grittiness, and I'm curious what you guys think is, Karl Anthony Towns, it seems like, is still waiting to be, you guys are bigger Knicks fans than me, but like fully embraced and really become, and it seems like this year he has, but what are your impressions of now him being really embraced by the fans and this Knicks team? Because he's a massive piece if they're going to, go to the finals.
I love Cat. I'm starting to figure out that there is going to be that game every 7 games or so where it's like, whoa, that was a bad game. Not just like, oh, he didn't score, like the turnovers, the foul, like just wasn't
fouls,
there. It wasn't there, right? And that happens to a lot of players. But with him, and you kind of could see it early, right? Like, oh, it's not his night. And when it's not his night, the Knicks will have a hard time. When, like, they need him. But the trade-off of those other 7 games before that tank game is so damn good. When he's hitting the 3, sometimes he tries to draw the foul enough. I wish he would just play through that contact a little more and stop bitching at the refs. But like, I think it's a great 1-2 punch. It's the perfect fit for the team. So, I know a lot of people say, well, with Brunson and Towns, how do you defensively win a championship? And maybe that's true. I don't know if anyone's winning the championship because OKC just won by 30 without their 3 best players. So I don't know if anyone's winning a championship besides OKC, but I don't know. I think there's enough there when you have Bridges, and we could talk about Bridges too, because one thing I do enjoy about what Mike Brown is doing, and I know this is a hot button topic for Knicks and fans and Tibbs fans, is the minutes, right? The minutes police. I know Frank Iasola, his life's mission is to prove everyone wrong about the minutes. And the point is, there were times where there was no reason for the starters to be in with Tibbs, and they were in.
Yep.
And that's just it. I think Mikal Bridges is on pace minutes-wise. Someone did the math where it will equate to like 5 less games a year with the minutes he's playing. And I think when you're a team that's positioned like the Knicks, being healthy in April is the most valuable thing possible. And maybe it's related to the minutes and maybe it's not. But I like Mike Brown playing a lot of these guys early, because how long did it take for us to learn that Landry Shamet should have been in every fucking playoff game last year?
Yeah.
And we didn't get to him till far too late.
It shouldn't even have come to that. Parlay Kid and I always text.
Yeah.
That is why you brought him in. He is a luxury on this Knicks team. He is such a big piece of the puzzle. And no, I think you need glue guys. You need glue guys for the run. And he is a huge one off the bench.
Yeah. So. You mean like a gritty defender who hits threes at a nice level and is has fresh legs and is ready to roll? Come on.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
All right, so now let's get to these rumors. The Parlay Kid's making me bring this up about Giannis. It's out there.
It's out there.
It's out there. Parlay Kid, you give your thoughts first.
Well,
how about that?
Yeah, well, look, my thoughts on this. And Jerry, for as much as we love Towns, it was a fun team when we had Randall and DiVincenzo.
I still love that team. I'll always love that team.
I know. I still
always
but I think there was the right trade for the time and the way the NBA is now. I think it was the right trade. And let's face it, now we're talking about these Giannis rumors to the Knicks, possibly. And I don't know how you feel, but I'm having some, I'm not saying doubts about it, but how much do I really want this? I'm not sure. I mean, it's you're getting a generational player in Giannis if you were to make the deal. But then, what do you have to give up? Like, what's the most we're going to have to give up? You're going to have to put Towns in that deal, right? We just talked about it.
For sure.
Towns is going. I would say either OG or Bridges are going in that deal. One of the two. Obviously, maybe Deuce probably in that deal. And then a couple draft picks. And then what happens is you're like a Giannis injury away from being irrelevant, right? Whereas the way the Knicks are constructed right now, I think they can get or should get, I've just said, to the Eastern Conference Finals. So with Giannis, could they maybe beat OKC? They would have probably a better chance. But I think with Giannis, the depth we would lose on this team, we'd be really just one injury away from just being, I'm not maybe irrelevant, but just a one and done in the playoffs. So I don't know. I'm conflicted with what I want. It's hard to say I don't want Giannis because I would love to see Giannis in the Garden, but I don't know. I think this team is pretty well constructed right now. I just don't know how much you can give up. What do you think? What are your thoughts, Jer?
So here's the pros and cons list that I made. And shockingly, like there is some cons, but the pro list is
still outweighs.
I think us older, realistic Knicks fans, we just want to get to the finals. I'm not saying like we don't want to win a championship. Right? Of course we do. And it would suck to go to the finals and lose like to OKC or whatever. But like, I still would be so happy in my heart of hearts that we were in the finals. Giannis, I think, gives you that chance to win the finals. Yes. I think if you want to beat OKC or if Denver happens to get in there, no one has anything for Giannis. No, like when he's healthy, No one has anything. So that's plus number one. Plus number two is Giannis is not a bullshit superstar. And what I mean by that is he's coming to play. He's coming to destroy people. He's coming to win. He's got the one championship. It's not nearly enough.
Yep.
So he's not going to come and it's like, oh, New York. Maybe he'll for a week, it'll be fun. Be like Giannis in New York, right? Awesome. But he'd be coming here like the Terminator, ready to destroy people. Other than some other stars, you often wonder that. And
Jerry, that's a great point because he's the first guy we've heard that's a superstar
and wants to come.
That's like, I want to come to New York.
Yes.
So you got to appreciate that for sure.
Yeah. That's really the two biggest reasons. No one has anything for him in the West, the East, whatever. Yeah. And he's just you are not losing anything as far as culture and leadership and just determination. The con to me is you see him grab the calf and we all held our breath, even just as basketball fans. That would suck if Giannis, not just because I want him in a trade, just in general. I love watching that guy play. Everything great about basketball. So to your point, yes, you're a Giannis injury away from fuck me, are we a play-in team now? Maybe we'll get hot and sneak in as the 6th seed. And then also, like you said, then you are relying on guys like Jordan Clarkson, who I do enjoy, but hasn't really put it together yet. And you got to start playing Pacome, and maybe Huck Porty needs to play a lot more because you are going to be very thin. And that is a scary, scary thing. And I don't even know what that does in the long term too, affordability wise or whatever. But I still would say, in my heart of hearts, I think because the Knicks have maybe the least of all these teams in the running to offer. I think if Giannis comes to the Knicks, I also think it's the Bucks doing him a solid. And if we are getting it at a, hey, this is a deal of a lifetime, it's Bridges, Towns, and 2 firsts that are probably going to be the 30th pick. You look at that overall and it's all right, even if it doesn't work, man, that's a great deal. In terms of value and deal, because I think other teams have way more to offer than the Knicks do. So it would be solid. Yeah. It would be oh, my buddy at the dealership, he gave me the first and last free,
Right. Yes.
I don't know, Dare. I'm with you. It's one of those things where if they were needed to take that massive next step, and they were, in the bottom half of the East, maybe, but I don't know. It is
but then again, I would hate, what if, the Heat got him or something, you know what I mean?
That's true.
And I'd be oh, this is terrible. if he goes anywhere, it's got to be if it's not going to be the Knicks, it's got to be to the West. It cannot be to another Eastern team. I'm not sure if you'd want to go to another Eastern team, but we'd have to ship him West, I think, because I would be so worried about having to face him in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can't only talk Knicks. Jerry, I do want to bring up your Giants just a little bit. I promise, just a little, because it was such an exciting team. What a roller coaster of a year. Way too many injuries, and now I really think there is promise for next year. So I guess it starts with the coach, because if they're keeping Joe Shine around for another year to figure this out, probably going to have the number 1 pick. Then is there a coach out there? I don't know. Maybe put Matt Leinart in charge. We're going
to talk about Leinart in a second. Because I got to air some grievances. Yeah. I love Leinart. Look, the Giants are going to win a game or two for no reason and drop down to the fourth draft pick. That's just what's going to happen. They do it all the time. They're not. So I feel for Mike Kafka in a way, put in this situation, because the team, not only are they not necessarily good and they're very, very injured and limited right now, the vibes just aren't there. It seems from the outside looking in, right? I don't know how in my opinion, I don't see how you give him the job. You can't. You just can't. You have to wipe the slate clean. Doesn't mean he's not a great coach and shouldn't be somewhere else. It just sometimes, you get, even when there's a breakup, are you friends with your ex's friends? Maybe, but it's kind of better if it's all right, you got your friends, I got my friends, let's move on. So I do think the fresh slate on the coach is something I asked Leinart. I'm what's more likely? The Giants get a veteran coach or one of the hot coordinators coming in? And I think I'm kind of ready for the vet coach again. You know, we've gone away from that. We had Shermer for that one heartbeat, and we've gone away from that. But I don't necessarily want Mike McCarthy. But some of the names out there, like the coordinator for the Rams is very intriguing. Obviously, everyone in Seattle, very intriguing. Then you got Kingsbury. Does he want to be a head coach again? It's very intriguing to also pair someone with Dart. Yeah. But I just don't know, because it's maybe the best job in a very long time. It seems like you have a quarterback, you have a number one receiver ready to come back. You have great pass rushers and potentially the number one pick. Like, what coach doesn't want to walk into that scenario?
Totally. Especially when teams are looking for, like, okay, we have a 5-year window rookie contract for a quarterback and dynamic players hoping to coming back healthy. Yeah, I agree. I think this is a time where usually you're looking for the whiz kid coordinator, first time coach. I'm with you. I think I don't know if I don't think, Mike Tomlin, Belichick, those names are the right names either, but agreed. A veteran coach, I think,
but I still Parlay Kid. The thing I was bitching about, I still can't get the answer for this. If you are attempting to win, or even though like everyone knew going in the Giants, like maybe they get 6 wins, maybe they sneak out 7 and they're frisky for a little while on the high side. How on earth did they roll Russell Wilson out there? Game one, insane. Let alone how on earth, and this isn't like cheap shots at Russell Wilson. Why is he on the team? All right, you want a veteran locker room. You got Jameis Winston. Is he not like one of the best vet leadership guys, at least, again, from the outside? Like, they signed Jameis, then they signed Russell Wilson, then they draft a quarterback, and Russell Wilson rolls out there week 1. I just don't understand the logic from coaches, GMs, orgs. Like, I was lost by game 1 on this team. Lost.
No, coaching malpractice and ownership malpractice. I think it was truly like there was no plan this offseason. Jackson Dart fell to them. They weren't sure what they had. They really thought I don't know. Russell's he's like a dynamic guy. Believe me, I lived it with the Steelers last year. You think he walks in and the guys play for him. I'm with you. I don't even know, based on what you saw last year with the Steelers, why you would have done it and then double down and get Jameis. If your plan was to draft a quarterback, why would you have signed them in the first place?
The Giants, I say I'm not a part of the organization. The Giants have not had like a kicker in 2 years. Graham Gano, you mean to tell me the 15 million or whatever, 9-10 million guaranteed to Russell Wilson? You couldn't have signed like a kicker, maybe throw in another DB out there, like anything with that money. You had to go like, I get veteran leadership for a young guy in a quarterback room. And this is where Leinart had the balls I can't believe he did this to me, and I love him. We were bickering about Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. I was like, shut Jackson Dart down. And he hit me with the like, see, I can't deal with you guys who never played football. He hit me with that. I'm like, you're my brother, man. Don't hit me with I didn't play NFL football, therefore I don't have an opinion.
Come on.
Yeah.
You've been on enough sets.
No, I told him that you can't talk about movies anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you were in House Bunny. All right, he acted in he was in House Bunny. I get he was on a set, but then you can't talk about movies anymore if I can't talk about like in-depth football shit.
Absurd.
I love Leinart. He's my brother. I love him. He's the best guy of all time, truly, and I love giving him a hard time.
Well, it is very interesting. Like, so what have you learned? I always find it like if you're watching for instance, American Idol or The Voice, and someone's singing, and I'm always like, wow, that sounded incredible. And then the judge will be like, that was a little pitchy. And they're like, what? So work now with an athlete doing a podcast, have there things that he's changed your mind or anything that you actually have learned? You're like, yo, maybe I should give the offensive line more credit.
Look, I've learned so much from him, like even messing around, like he'll try to get me to draw up a play. He'll call something out. So like what he has reminded me of is truly how hard the quarterback position is. Right. And we talk all this shit, but truly like how we should respect the greats and even the good, because it is so hard. It really, and all football and football in general is just a different thing. Where like, if you look at Leinart, like he's kind of hit every box. Like he obviously was amazing in college, wins the friggin' Heisman, wins the national championship, had a big defeat then in the national championship game, played with the best maybe college running back ever. And then he's a high draft pick, rookie hotshot coming in, played well. Then he gets a broken collarbone, doesn't really get back his starting job. Then he really put perspective when we were talking about the Shador, Dylan Gabriel stuff, and how some people were saying, oh, what they're doing to Shador is not fair. Before he was even the starter, he's not getting any practice reps. And Leinart was like, I backed up Schaub in Houston, and I would get 1 rep a week with the starters. 1. And then the rest of the time, I am running the scout team. And then if he goes down and I get thrown in, I'm getting thrown into the fire. That's the job. And that's kind of what happened to Shador. He got thrown in the fire with minimal to 0 reps as a rookie quarterback. Matt was a vet quarterback at that point. This is a rookie quarterback. So that really put in perspective. It's like, this is what happens to all backups and rookie quarterbacks. So let's pump the brakes there. Now he's awesome to talk football with, and all sports really, but he puts a different perspective on things. And then I just know, like, X's and O's, I'm not your guy.
No,
Neither
that's
are
super,
you. None of
that's
us,
super
we're
smart.
not.
Yeah,
we're
no,
not.
that's how I feel. I was the backup, and cousin Sal left, and now Parlay Kid threw me into this mess. I don't know what
with
I'm doing.
minimal rep. No, you've had first team reps.
Yeah,
Joel,
thanks,
you've had first team
good,
reps.
That's a good
Come
one.
on.
Good comparison.
So what happens now? Have you tried to convince him? Hey, we should make a movie about those USC days? And I mean, I feel like that could be a good movie of like or does it give you any, behind the scenes great stories from those USC days?
I got a lot of good stories. It's unfortunate that usually the great ones, we got to just be like, that's a great story at dinner. We got to maybe not use the mic. Not that they're like bad or illegal or anything, but just, stories that you, as anyone in privacy, you take with yourself. But it really is a reminder, because like in 03, 04, when they're running around, that's kind of when Entourage started. And I remember being like a 23-year-old in like clubs or out, and it's like, oh shit, there's the guys from USC. Like there was like a Beatles quality to that team, man. We forget sometimes just truly how big in LA that team was. Cause LA also at the time, there was no football there, no Rams, no Raiders. They just had like the Lakers and the Dodgers. Point. That was it. And SC.
It was those were they all went pro, and they were like must see TV, especially you'd stay up late and watch them, and celebrities on the sideline. Also, speaking of, hey, I didn't realize this Golden Globe nominations came out today.
Oh, they did?
I think I didn't even realize that. But you have one of my favorite stories ever of you guys went, and after your category, you left and went to the steakhouse, which is one of my favorite stories you've ever told me, which is hilarious.
The two best, quickest, if you have the time, Golden Globe stories that I absolutely adore is that one where, again, we weren't like being spoiled, but it was like our 6th time going to the Globes, and there was it was like a Cowboys-Packers game, like a meaningful game. And, the Golden Globes are great, but our awards, we knew like the supporting actor was first, and usually it's Piven winning or Dylan like up there. And then best comedies last. So then you're at the show, and the show is great. It's fun. And it's one of the few that like you're allowed to drink, and there's food. It's loose. But we like commandeered a golf cart and a walkie-talkie, and we told like the Golden Globe PAs, we're like, hey, we're going to, what was the steakhouse? It might've been like Morton's or something. And
no, like, the famous one on Hollywood Boulevard, you said, with the red banquettes.
Oh, yes. And we're like, you radio us when it's time, when we're 10 minutes out from our award, we will be back. And they were like, cool. And we literally, Connolly and I took a walkie, and we watched the game, and we ate steak, and we had some drinks. And then they were like, your award's up in 10 minutes. And we hopped in the cart, and we made it right back to our seats. That's number one. But the best Golden Globe story of all time, and I may butcher it because Connolly tells it better. This is early on. Like we still like, we shouldn't even be at this party, right? We're all in the bathroom. Not all. It was I go to the bathroom. I think Dylan's in there. Other people are in there. And then like James Cameron's in there. It might have even been like Johnny Depp's in this bathroom. It's like, Jesus, what am I even doing in this bathroom? And then I'm at a urinal. Dylan's at a urinal. And in walks Kevin Connolly. Okay. And Dylan, without missing a beat, says to the room, boys might want to cover up. We got a peeker who just walked in.
Oh, no.
James Cameron erupts with laughter.
Oh,
Johnny, the room just erupts with fucking laughter. And I'm like, that's like something that will never, ever happen to anyone ever again. Yeah. Dill, cover
I would
up,
have
boys.
just turned around. I'd have been so.
I would just turn around. Cover up, boys.
Out.
We have a peeker who just walked in.
Oh, my gosh.
You're like in an episode of your own show. Yeah.
Sometimes
hilarious.
the lines were blurred. Yes.
Amazing. What is I Parlay Kid, big TV guy. So give us and everyone that's listening your recommendation of what you're watching, or I'm curious. What is in your head a good show to watch over the holiday break?
So, gosh, I mean, at this point, we used to watch a lot of TV. Now with the third kid underway, it's like trying to get my wife to stay up past 8:30 is like a miracle in itself. But we're currently watching I Love LA of all things, right? Really good. And Rachel Sennett, I think her name is, like, she even like said some of her early inspiration was in fact Entourage, because that's what it kind of reminds me of when I'm watching it in its own way, you know, like, and it's for them, and I just think it's a good show. I like watching shows that bring me places, and that brings me to LA. It really does. What else are we watching? We hit The Diplomat. We hit Nobody Wants This. Every year every Christmas, I have my own thing. I do a Sopranos rewatch starting on Thanksgiving. Even if it's on in the background while I'm working, I know that show so well. And I usually end around like mid to late January. Awesome. So Ralphie just showed up. Ralph Cifaretto.
That is, that is always a good watch.
It's just the best.
Before we get to Parlay Kid's last question, I'll get to mine. We always call this question from a buddy. I ask one of my friends if they have a question, and here's what he wanted to ask you. You can have one Knicks free agent signing back of your whole life. He proposed Jared Jeffries, Jerome Big Snack James, or Eddie Curry. But I'll give it to you. Any Knicks signing of your entire life, you get one back. Which would it be?
I mean, the Jerome James signing is like historically historic. No offense to Jerome James. I'm glad you got paid. I like when people get paid, but that was that was a crazy amount of money. I would probably say the Eddie Curry one, only just because
couple draft picks, right?
Yeah, and it's so hard because like for me, it's like I would take back a trade. I would take back the Melo trade, and then I would just sign him, which we could have done.
Wow, that's a good point.
That was the thing, right? For some reason, there was this, like, he wanted to come to New York. We all knew it was going to happen.
They couldn't wait.
And
that's right.
He would have
been
a free agent, and we sent Gallinari, Felton, Chandler, Mozgov, a pick I think that might have become Jamal Murray, all this stuff. And it just, similar to the Giannis, they kind of gutted the team a little bit, even though those first few years they were a scary like 6 seed, and we did get that run. It's not that I didn't want Melo on the Knicks. I did. I just, maybe if we could have kept like Melo and Gallinari, you know, or Melo and Felton.
Good point.
It would have been, so that's what I would take back, and I would just sign him in the offseason. I still want Melo. Just, can we keep some assets in the process?
That's a great call. See, you do belong in a front office, Parlay Kid. Look at this guy.
Well, Jerry, listen, I'm sure, especially when it comes to the NBA or even football, Jerry, look, some of these guys, you got to question how much they really know sometimes. I don't get some of the moves the Knicks have made. Leon Rose has finally righted the ship there, but anybody previous to Rose has left us scratching our heads many times because it's been brutal. I mean, we've had some bad luck too. We just missed out on Curry in the draft. You know, but you had a chance to draft SGA. It didn't happen. Like, we've always guessed wrong on almost every single one of these guys. So I'm
sorry too. I don't accept any Leon Rose slander. Anyone on Twitter that says some shit about Leon Rose, it's unacceptable to me.
Like, it's like what Tibbs did for the Knicks and Rose did. They got us back into being more than relevant now.
Look at you want a fun little exercise? Go look at the roster when Leon Rose took over. Go look at it.
It's incredible what he's done.
No one talks about how much Jalen Brunson makes anymore. And believe me, I believe the Dallas Mavericks would gladly have him back.
For the Jalen Brunson signing. Got like a D+ from CBS, and everyone clowned him for the Brunson signing.
Joel knows I was on top. I was so happy with that signing before we even knew what we were getting with him. Jerry, what fan bases as New York fans do we hate the most, by the way? Who do we hate the most?
I think you're on board with me. It's Philly.
Yeah.
Philly overall, right?
Overall. So again, I am no longer insulted by anything anyone says to me on Twitter, right? It's impossible to say something that's going to make me go, oh, I'll talk shit about sports. You'll get me like inflamed about, but like personally, you can't get to me. I'm a wall. I don't care. The only fan base and people in general that I've ever made me say, I think I need to quit this app, was Sixers fans during the Knicks playoff run 2 years ago. Knicks Sixers round 1. They genuinely hurt my feelings. And I was like, I cannot take this anymore. I can't take it. No other fan bases ever, not the Cowboy fans, not Mets fans, Red Sox fans. No one's done that to me.
You've been going at it with some Boston fans lately, though. For sure, right?
Well, I just think it's comical. For what Boston has done for the last 10 games is awesome. It's awesome. The role players are playing great. Mazzulla is somewhere in the coach of the year conversation through 25 games. Yep. It's been great. And I was not thinking like, oh, Boston's really out of it without Tatum. Yeah, they're not going to win a championship, but I'm not like they're going to be out of the playoffs or the play-in.
Right.
But you get guys like Kevin O'Connor and other people on Twitter going like, can you believe Boston's Justin Termini? Boston's the 3 seed.
Right.
3 seed. They're also a game and a half up on the 9 seed, guys. They lose 2 in a row. They could be the 9 seed by Sunday. Not saying it doesn't mean they can't be the 3rd seed in the end, but chill out and enjoy the run.
Yeah.
This is the Knicks fan in me. Pump the brakes. It's been awesome for 10 games, and they have a really light schedule coming up for the next 10. They will be a force, but like the 3 seed.
Yeah.
After 21 games, the 3 seed. What do we do? What are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing?
This is why we have to listen to your pod and get more. Oh, speaking of, that is a question I had. Is let's see. I guess, have you talked to Matt? Well, he must have been elated that Notre Dame got left out, or what were
we're definitely going to tackle that this week. He definitely doesn't have love for Notre Dame or Texas. It's funny because watching him work with Brady Quinn, and then we've had Brady Quinn on the show a couple of times, but they tell this great story about like when they had that big face-off, the tush push game. Like they were like talking shit at the coin toss, and Matt was like, "You're a juice head," like just like random insults at the coin toss. And now they're really tight. Brady's a great guy, but I still blame Liner for the tush push that we have to watch now. It's him and Reggie Bush's fault. It's their fault. We have to sit through this.
Never thought of it that way.
It's his fault. Point. We have to sit through this 100%. Him and Reggie Bush are to blame.
Yeah, that's now exactly. We should get that was where it originated. That is the original tush push.
Yeah, and he's the first one to admit he's like, I definitely don't score if Reggie doesn't push me in the end zone. He's like, I don't come close to scoring.
Oh my gosh. Well, that is why I listen to the Throwbacks pod. It is always in the top rankings, and it's like the Ohio State or USC of podcasts. What do you think? I guess.
We'll just stick with SC for now. Ohio State, I mean, after that loss, maybe we're more like them, but we're just for Leinert's purposes, we'll say we're the USC of podcasting.
He should get you an honorary degree at USC. I feel like you should get an honorary degree anyway from there.
I went to college for a year. I was done. I moved to LA when I was 19 years old, but it was pretty cool. We shot some stuff at USC. And like walking that campus with him, it's just, I can only imagine that's one of the cooler feelings I'll never have. But it was really cool to see him on that campus, because that's, he means a lot to that place.
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool.
Parlay Kid, Merry Christmas. We did it.
We did it. And again, congratulations and best of luck, Jerry, to baby number 3 on the way in February. Try to get some sleep now while you can, pal.
I will get sleep. I would like to come back on probably around March as we get the All-Star haze. Talk a little, and Brother Bry's got to be here too. I gotta get my Bry fix. We gotta talk too. So I would like to come back. Target like March.
All right. We're load management with you. We got to limit your minutes. So we'll hopefully be back with you with the playoffs. You're the best, Jerry. Listen to Throwbacks Pod. And we'll see you for the NBA Finals.
From your mouth to God's ears, as my mother used to say. Thank you, guys.